What's up, sons? It's BlindRod with Son of a Tech once again, and I just finished watching the Microsoft E3 presentation over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/sonofatech_. And you probably have heard all of the news, but in case you're waiting for me to go ahead and present everything that you need, I'm gonna do it because I said I would yesterday, so that's why we're doing it. Other than that, we're gonna go over the good, the bad, and my opinions on the Microsoft E3 2018 presentation. Stick around. Welcome back. So this year it does look a lot more refocused and ready to attack the weak points that Microsoft has. Just like E3 for EA this year, we are seeing these companies come back and really try to reach out to the consumer and address some of the concerns. A lot of the concerns with Xbox in particular right now on Microsoft's side is the lack of exclusive titles. They're trying to combat this as much as possible by purchasing a bunch of studios, including Playground Studios, which was already making Xbox exclusive titles, and many, many more. It's getting really interesting that they're going to have to purchase them and put them under Microsoft Studios to get these exclusives, but it's definitely something they need to do. Now, while they pushed the fact that they had a whole bunch of exclusive titles, they really didn't have that many. Let's go over the list as far as I could tell from this video or this press conference. The only ones that I really saw was going to be Halo Infinite, which was the first video they led off with. Pretty impressive stuff as far as going back to, of course, the Halo ring, going back to a Master Chief story, and then pretty light details on the rest. The notable thing is that they did confirm a Windows 10 release for this, so everybody on PC, you're getting the latest Halo title, of course, for your platform, which is pretty much true across the board with all Microsoft Studios games, and really integrates well with Play Anywhere because you only have to purchase it once and you can play it on your Windows 10 PC, or you can play it on your Xbox if you happen to have both. Pretty cool, and I think it's a very smart move that Microsoft made that they really aren't advertising as much as they probably should. Moving on from there, other exclusives included Forza Horizon 4, which is one of my favorite racing titles of all time, and I loved, of course, Horizon 3, Horizon 2, and the original. 4 is going to be really blowing the doors off of online play. There's going to be everybody in the same world. It's going to be a persistent world, and it's going to have something called seasons. So that persistent world is going to rotate through seasons, and that's just basically like spring, summer, winter, and autumn. Pretty much the real seasons. The cool thing is that the whole world's experiencing it at the same time. You can seamlessly go into co-op in and out of it. And once again, it's a Windows 10 and Xbox Play Anywhere title, which is just fantastic. This brings up one of the biggest notes of the entire conference, and that was the Xbox Game Pass. I purchased the Xbox Game Pass on sale for $30 for a year. You can purchase it right now for $1 under its special for a month, and I believe it's $9 a month. So total, you'd be looking at about $80 a month for this Game Pass. And as it stood last year, as it was kind of developing and more people were kind of starting to do it, it wasn't quite worth it. However, now we're seeing what Microsoft Studios is doing is going ahead and releasing all of the games that they have day one with the Xbox Game Pass. So you're not going to have to go out and drop that $60 for Gears of War or Halo or Forza or any of the other exclusives from Microsoft, which is just fantastic value because just this year we're going to have a couple exclusives launch, and that covers that $80 fee if you're paying month to month. Definitely go out and look for the deals and get it for like $30 for the year, and then you're just, the value is tremendous at that point, especially since they also picked up some third-party developers that are actually supporting Game Pass. So one of my complaints with the EA Game Pass, which they announced yesterday that they're going to be doing premium, which is going to do the same thing. Essentially, if you have EA Game Pass on your console or PC, you're going to get the EA titles day one on release. They don't have a price for that yet, to my knowledge. The regular EA Game Pass, which has older EA titles, is about $5 a month. It's really not worth it, at least in my humble opinion, because there's not enough EA titles. And that's the whole thing there, is I feel like EA should have partnered with PlayStation or with Xbox to get on like the Xbox Game Pass, and that's what Bethesda did. So now not only do we have the Xbox Microsoft Studio exclusive titles, but we're also getting Bethesda titles while a little bit older, still coming out and doing things like Xbox One X Enhanced for Fallout 4, Elder Scrolls Online, and others that will be coming later on down the line. But the biggest one was Fallout 4. You can go, if you have Xbox Game Pass right now, download Fallout 4 for effectively free or the price of the Game Pass, and you're good to go, which is going to still be cheaper than actually purchasing the title itself. Pretty neat stuff with the Xbox Game Pass, and it differentiates itself from the EA Game Pass because they actually have a platform. And so you can check out my thoughts and opinions on the EA Game Pass up here in this video. Moving on, the other exclusive was going to be Gears of War, and they presented this very, very poorly. They went boom, showed the Gears of War title up there, and everybody went, yeah! And then they had Pop figurines jump out and announced a Pop game for mobile before announcing, of course, the Gears titles, which ended up being a Gears Tactics for Windows 10 only. Super interested in that one, by the way. And then they finally announced Gears of War 6. I think they should have reversed that, because the way they presented the logo really confused a lot of people, and then it kind of brought the mood down, because as soon as the pop, you could just hear the crowd go, oh. And then they announced, of course, Gears 6, but everybody was already so disappointed with the way they presented it. It just hurt the hype train, the headband hype train. Yeah, there you go. So now that being said, I keep saying Gears 6. I meant Gears 5. I was thinking Halo 6, but Gears 5 is coming out, and we're going to be seeing it on Xbox One and Windows 10 once again. I hope that they can fix the multiplayer so the multiplayer goes between both. That would be super helpful. And it's going to be following the female character, I can't remember her name right now, and Dell. So Dell's going off with her. It looks like the Phoenixes are going to be doing their own thing. They're kind of on the side of course, the COG army and so on. It'll be interesting to see what they decide to do with the story there. Of course, it isn't the original Epic we all love and know. However, even though the previous Gears, Gears 4, was not with Epic, they still did a good job at recovering from Gears of War Judgment, so I have faith that it can still be a good title just based off of my previous experience with the latest Gears of War 4. But that kind of gets us to the point that I needed to really come down to, the lack of exclusive titles for Xbox, or let's just start calling them Microsoft because it's going to be Windows 10 and Xbox. The lack of exclusive titles is hurting them significantly, and other than, of course, the Crackdown 3, which we knew about, there really isn't much other than the 4 that I announced there. They were kind of pushing like we're getting a whole bunch of exclusive titles when they really aren't. I guess I should mention there's a new Battletoads coming. They did get the exclusive rights to that. I don't know if it's going to be any good. They didn't even have any gameplay, so that's up in the air. And then the rest of it was all world premieres, and I think this comes down to the strategy that Microsoft had this year, which was go first before PlayStation and snag all of the third-party titles as world premieres, so our conference looks better than it actually is. A curious note about it was that they also announced a new Xbox is in the works, but they didn't announce anything about any of the technical specifications or even what it would be called, or even a code name for the project. What this tells me is that we're probably going to see an announcement with more technical specs of a new Sony PlayStation coming Monday, and I think Microsoft got wind of that and decided to just be like, yeah, we're working on one too, because it didn't make any sense. It was just like a new Xbox, we're working on it. The only reason they would do that is if Sony has something ready to present that is a new console, and now they're scrambling to keep up. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. I did just grab an Xbox One X not too long ago. I love it. I don't think they need more power necessarily. I think we need more development for what we currently have. We are 5 years into a life cycle. We're low on exclusives for Microsoft, and other than Xbox Game Pass and of course the Xbox Play Anywhere, the platform is definitely suffering compared to the competition. That doesn't mean I'm not excited for what is around the corner. I'm a huge Forza fan, I'm a Gears fan, and I'm a Halo fan, so all of this coming out here shortly is going to be awesome. It's still those three, and that's it. that's all we got. Now, we did learn a couple other titles that are coming out that I'm super hyped about, but they are third party. They'll probably be on multiple platforms. These include a new one from Software, the developers of Dark Souls and of course Bloodborne. I'm going to try to get this name right. It's Sekiro. I believe it's Sekiro. Shadows Die Twice. It looks like a From Software game. Difficult, timing-based mechanics. I'm super stoked on that. The other few that I was super happy to see was A Dying Light 2, along with Cyberpunk 2077. Those were titles that I had never seen as much of. And of course, the new Metro 2 was also showed off, but I've already seen that, so that's kind of pushed off to the side. I know that there was a lot more that went on in this particular presentation, but those were the things that stood out to me. The very good thing is going to be the Xbox Game Pass. I think at this point, if you were looking to buy a console for casual gaming and you didn't want to be spending a whole bunch of money on games all the time, the Xbox Game Pass is making a lot of sense. Just buy an Xbox, pay the $30 for the year, between $30 and $80 for the year for the Xbox Game Pass. Don't buy any games and just download what you get when you get it. It makes a lot more sense than having to go out and immediately buy 5 titles, and your price goes from, you know, the $500 or $450 for the Xbox One X, let's say, to a staggering, of course, like $700-800 once you buy the games. Just being able to have those games ready to go, over 100 games, and new titles that are out and relevant on the platform without having to do more than actually right now buy an Xbox One, throw $1 on it for the month, and get all access to all those titles is pretty significant. That definitely helps the platform out. That's its biggest selling point. Its biggest flaw is going to be the amount of exclusives and just that lack there that they used to be so much better at. I was expecting a couple more exclusives from some of the leaks that I had heard about, and it didn't happen. We got the same titles, same exclusive titles that we got in every year. So that's what stood out. Hope you guys enjoyed. Go follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/ToneOfTech_, where most of my gaming content goes. Of course, this channel is primarily cryptocurrency and PC gaming hardware, so this will probably all go away, this type of content, unless you guys really enjoy it. This type of content will be exclusive to Twitch, and this will go back to that. But E3 is pretty much my entire life this weekend and what I'm making videos on. I'll see you next Tuesday.